IFAB, who are the law-making body for football worldwide, approved at their meeting in March 2017 the discretion for national associations, so therefore the FA, to use temporary dismissals, what you and I know as sin bins, for cautions, either all cautions or selected cautions. The FA, after a period of consultation, decided to introduce it for dissent and dissent only. Why dissent? Well, over last season, at the grassroots level of the game, there were over 73,500 yellow cards for dissent. Players disagreeing with referees' decisions. That's over 25% of all yellow cards. That's a big number. We believe that dissent is an offence that is a behavioural issue, not a typical footballing matter of a late challenge for unsporting behaviour, and is something that has a direct impact on the enjoyment of the game for everybody who participates, the retention levels of referees, the recruitment level of referees, and therefore has a major impact on the game. We believe that temporary dismissals or sin bins will reduce that number and therefore enable us potentially to recruit more referees, retain referees, and to enable people to enjoy the game better. Well, it's worth knowing that we advertised for leagues to volunteer for this across all of the country at grassroots level, and we had over 130 leagues express an interest. We have selected 32 leagues right the way across the country. How did we select those leagues? We looked at the number of cautions for dissent that league had, because it's important that we can measure the impact compared on last season's dissent compared to what it will be this season using sin bins. So we needed to make sure that it was a league that had a reasonable number of cautions for dissent. We wanted to make sure that it addressed all the types of football across all levels at grassroots, so that we had Saturday teams, Sunday teams, female, male and youth football. So taking that all on board, we've ended up with 32 leagues, which is a good number to be able to have a serious measure as to whether or not sin bins will work. They will get a temporary period out of the game, temporarily dismissed. They will go off for a defined period of time. In adult matches and matches of 90 minutes, it's 10 minutes in the sin bin. For all other matches of less than 90 minutes, it's 8 minutes. Now, why is that important? It's important because we believe that the period out of the game will have an immediate impact on the player's behaviour. Last season, all that would have happened is that they would have been shown a yellow card, and 2 weeks later they would have received a £10 fine. This season, they will have an immediate impact of a period out of the game, that they will use that time to think about their behaviour. It will also have an impact on their teammates, because they will see a player going off. They will not want to join them, so they will not jump in and have comments with the referee, so it will change their behaviour also. The £10 fine no longer exists for matters of dissent where a sin bin is applied, and it is replaced with the 10-minute period out of the game. We will evaluate the impact of the sin bin pilot, but not only at the end of the trial. We will be evaluating it month by month as the season goes ahead, and we will compare the figures monthly compared to the season previous to see what the impact is on the dissent figures. We expect to see a significant reduction in the amount of dissent. That is only part of the story though. What we also need to do is to get feedback from those involved in the pilot, whether that's referees, whether or not that's leagues, whether or not it's clubs, and the players within clubs, to see what the impact is on their enjoyment of the game. Does it have an impact on the game itself, not only the reduction on dissent? When we've looked at that, we will evaluate that, we'll feed back to IFAB at their meetings, and also make a decision nationally as to whether or not we want to introduce that across the grassroots game next season.